Hello, everybody. This is Doug Berg with Zap Info. Excited to share with everybody today some great content about how to use Zap Info to find and apply for jobs faster. I guarantee you're going to learn something new today on this webinar that will be valuable to either yourself or one of probably several of your friends that may be impacted by layoffs and downturns and all that other stuff. So I would stay tuned. This is being recorded, so you'll be able to share it with any of your friends and family. We're also on Facebook Live. Please post comments out there. I've got my good friends Eric Jakewith on with me today. Say hi, Eric.
Hello, everyone.
And I've also got Lynette Berg on, who's going to kind of keep an eye on questions. If you're in the GoToWebinar version of the Zap Info webinar, you're going to see in the side panel you have the opportunity to ask questions. So please do that. Go ahead and click on the little comments bar there, and you'll be able to pop your question in, and we'll stop periodically and see about getting those answered for you. I'm going to go ahead and start with a quick poll. Kind of wanted to see how many folks on the webinar have actually been impacted by the recent layoffs. So if you can go ahead and just quickly give us an answer about whether you've been impacted, or you've been impacted for a while now, maybe even before the pandemic. Maybe you haven't, but you're worried it's coming. Maybe you're not worried at all. You're just here for fun. Go ahead and give us some answers. We're at about 60% of the people that have voted on this so far. Give it a second here. I tried to put another poll in to ask how long people had been out of work, but it wouldn't save the darn thing. So, all right, I think we're good enough here. I'm going to go ahead and close the poll and just kind of see what our results look like. Looks like only about 15% have been recently, and another 15 a while ago. And about half, almost half, are worried it's coming. Isn't that something else? So really, really interesting to see where people are at with all this stuff. So let's get started with the show today. I'm going to go ahead and jump back out to webinar, wherever that might be on here. Where did it go? There we go. All right, so welcome to Zap Info. We also have a really great deal for you guys today. We're going to provide free resources, especially to recruiters that have been impacted by some of the layoffs. We've actually got a really great free offer to be able to use Zap Info for the next 3 months to kind of get yourself back to work again. With any luck, the lights will be back online again. And we're big believers in that generosity begets prosperity. And so if we can help you get a job quicker and in using the tool, you experience some great kind of use cases that can carry over into when you get your next gig, we certainly would just appreciate the opportunity to have you think about us. I've been a headhunter, so I've actually worked with hundreds, probably thousands of people to find jobs, and have observed how people think about their job search process. And boy, you've just got a whole spectrum of how people think about this. Ones that apply for one job and kind of light a candle and hope that that one job is going to come up because they really don't want to get out there and start talking to too many people. And then you've got kind of the machine gun application people, right? Ones that are applying to every job on the career site. Something's got to stick. Gonna tell everybody my story, right? So there's a whole array of how people think about some of this stuff. But if I'm sitting down with a friend at a coffee table, like I am with you guys today, and I'm trying to give you advice about the best way to go at this, and this is true for whether you're, on the low end of the career spectrum and you're just getting started, or if you're in the middle zone, if you will. Or maybe even if you're up at the higher level. Sometimes it's harder to find some of those higher level positions because you've really got to go to town, you've really got to network. And sometimes having too much experience can be more disqualifying than not having any experience. So it's a really interesting thing how in the beginning of our careers, we've got to kind of overstate what we're doing. And in the later part of our career, we've got to understate so that we can really aim and target ourselves at those job opportunities and not scare people away. But here's some really interesting goals I've kind of tried to see work well And some of these are just activity and behavior types of things. My first one is just to recommend that you at least try to apply to 5 to 10 new jobs every day, especially when we're in a rapid declining state right now. And we're probably going to see a lot more layoffs again in the next week or two here. The curve is flattening. I know it's encouraging for a lot of us to watch the evening news and see that our stay-at-home stuff has been great. But I think the economic realities of that are going to be with us for a while. And so that's where I would say begin starting to kind of apply for some of these positions. And what you're doing by applying is you're kind of dancing with different applicant tracking systems, with different career sites, with different companies. You'll hopefully get on the phone and start interacting with different recruiters, with different personalities, being asked different questions. And all of that can act as a feedback loop for you to be able to know how to change and update your profile, your approach, your outreach. Those are really going to be important things for you to learn, because searching for a job is not a class they teach at college, right? You kind of, all of a sudden, we were all cruising 30 days ago thinking everything was great. And we're all thinking about what vacation and spring break we're going to go on, and we're going to update the house and our summer plans. And all of a sudden, bam, you're out of a job, and now your job is getting a job. And so it can be incredibly upending for people, and it can really tear away at your self-confidence. But by having a good activity level, by applying to 5 to 10 new quality jobs every day, really important activity. I also encourage folks to just start networking with 25 to 50 people. These don't have to be new people. These can be people that you haven't talked to in a year or two. Some of your oldest coworkers, right? See what's going on, see where they're at, see where, catch up. It's a great opportunity to catch up with kind of your old folks out there. But try to, keep track of and do that networking with 25 to 50 people or recruiters every day. I know it can be daunting and it seems like a lot, but again, this is your job. So this is where you can spend your time and activity and really do some of that catch up. And I'm going to show you how you can do it using Zap Info, much easier and faster than you would if you had to do it manually. We're going to add your profile and resume to all the top boards with just a few clicks. So the arduous pain in the butt manual process is now gone thanks to Zap Info. We've wired up your ability to zap your LinkedIn profile and put it on all the major boards. I'm going to show you how that works in a minute. We're going to also update your social profile and announce that you're searching for a job, but you've got to do it in the right way, because I'm seeing a lot of people do it the wrong way, and you're actually hurting yourself. You're not helping yourself. So I'm going to show you how you can optimize that. We're also going to target 10 to 25 companies. I'm going to show you how you can follow them, how you can join the talent communities, how you can set up alerts. Even if they don't have job alerting, I've got some secret sauce to show you how you can monitor a company to be the first person to know when that perfect job shows up on their website. We're also going to goal to have 2 to 4, maybe 2 to 5, just conversations, right? Not interviews, not offers. That's too early. That's too far in, too many expectations. We're going to just shoot for 2 to 4 conversations that are meaningful enough around what's going on, who am I a fit, am I not, what's our timing look like. Those are just great things to be able to kind of keep yourself busy and keep yourself in the hunt, so that within a week, 2, 3 weeks, you've now maybe got some possibilities that are going to go deeper into your pipeline of your job search. And then after that first week, we're going to switch from doing new and fresh outreach and into doing follow-up on jobs, follow up on, hey, I applied, what's going on, follow-ups trying to find the recruiter that might own the job, or the manager that might own the job, or a connection that we might have. I was kind of thinking about all these activities, and I know a lot of folks are thinking about how this massive unemployment compares to the Great Depression. And I thought to myself, boy, am I grateful we're not in that zone. We didn't have LinkedIn. They didn't have LinkedIn back then, right? I don't know what you would do. You'd get up and get on your horse and buggy and go downtown and see if there's posters plastered on billboards. We are in such an amazing time where we can not only see immediately where there's new opportunities, but who we know in those opportunities and how to network into those opportunities. It's an unprecedented access to information. And so thanks to Facebook and LinkedIn and all of these other networks, I just don't see how something like what we're in right now is going to have a long fuse like the Depression did. I think we're in for a very quick and expedient return to work here. So a couple of the things we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about how to optimize your LinkedIn strategy, how you can take the asset of your LinkedIn profile and zap it. And then we're going to show you how you can go ahead and move those profiles out to all the boards very quickly. expand your searchability and findability on all of those different areas. Believe it or not, certain recruiters still do look at job boards. And by the way, they're also using those boards to harvest people and profiles and resumes, put them into their own CRMs and talent CRMs. You want to make sure that your profile is in those systems when they do that, to be able to grab you and get you into the system. We also want to make sure we've got the right keywords, the right language, the right descriptors in our profile. We're also going to zap your connections out of LinkedIn. LinkedIn, you gave them all your connections when you joined, and now you want to get them back and go out and use them. Unfortunately, LinkedIn got greedy and won't give us our contacts back with all of the contact data, but Zap can actually help you jump the fence and get that. Also going to show you when you find those great jobs how you can apply for them a lot faster. Take it from 30 to 40 minutes down to 3 to 4, which is going to be great, and we're going to continue to improve that. I'm also going to show you how you can search jobs and where to search jobs in the most optimal places. Sometimes boards only have about 10 or 15% of the jobs that are actually out on corporate career sites, and so I'm going to show you how to go direct and find jobs no one else is finding. And then lastly, we're going to talk about joining talent communities and how to get started. So let's do it. Lynette, is there any questions or any comments right out of the gate here that we need to look at before we kind of dive into it?
No, honey, you can keep rolling.
All right, this is great. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, and for those of you that have your Zap Info installation in already, you can kind of follow along. Otherwise, this is being recorded. Kind of come back through. Because in the end, I'm going to show you how to install Zap and how to use our free coupon code to get a couple of free months. But you'll be able to watch me kind of do this and really get a good sense for it. So again, a lot of us probably have a LinkedIn profile, or even if you have a resume that's on your hard drive, either way, you can go ahead and just zap your profile. So just for fun, I'm going to go out to my LinkedIn profile. Nobody writing down all my contact data and stuff. I suppose you all can reach me or find me out on the network anyhow. But now what you can do is when you go on your profile, and this is true for anybody's profile that you go on, you're going to see when you've got Zap Info installed inside your browser. It's kind of up here in the corner. By the way, just for fun, I'm going to see, I'm going to zoom in here. Did this zoom in for you guys or here?
No, it doesn't zoom in.
Okay. I just wanted to see if that Mac operating system can do it. It doesn't. All right. So anyhow, what you do here is you can use the Z button that's going to be traveling with you. Everywhere you go when you're using Zap Info, you've got a little virtual assistant that's going to help you gather data, enrich data, and engage with people using the Zap Info system. So now you can take that profile that you built of yourself and you can zap it. And what that means is you're going to portabilize your resume. Think of it like a resume wallet that you can put into your Zap. So once you've got that done, you're going to be able to see that we've taken all of these different component pieces of your resume: name, company, summary, phone, contact data, computer, URL, and with all of your educational elements, all your work experiences, all your skills, you've got now all of this data ready to be pulled. So that as you're traveling around the web, sometimes you probably applied for a job on a job board and see how easy the apply is. Well, now you've just become easy apply everywhere. So what's great about this is once you've got that profile in there, you're good to go in terms of being able to now apply for jobs. Now, some of you, if you didn't have all your contact data, are going to want to go in, and then you're going to want to fill in stuff like your phone number, like your personal email address, like your address, city, state, and zip. Some of this isn't in your LinkedIn profile, and yet you're going to want to fill these data fields in because when you go to apply for jobs on company sites, these are going to be required fields, and you're not going to want to have to retype them over and over and over. So just make sure you do that as a part of when you're zapping your profile and getting it ready for action so that you can now instantly go out and fill in those different areas and be ready to deploy them once you find the information. So that's what you want to do to update your personal info.
Hey, Doug.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the audio is just a little bit wonky. If you could get closer to the microphone, that would really be helpful. Thanks.
What I might need to do is aha. How's this? A lot better?
Oh, that's perfect.
I don't know why it switched off of the other deal. All right, here we go. Now you're all going to hear my breathing, which is kind of bad. But anyhow, we've zapped our profile, right? And we've got it on LinkedIn. And maybe some of you had resumes on Indeed, Monster, and ZipRecruiter 10 years ago. It's time to update them, right? So again, we've made this incredibly easy for you to do. And you can either log into your old account or log into your new account. And basically what you can do once you've got the Zap Info profile of your LinkedIn profile is basically you can just go over and join something like ZipRecruiter. And I'm going to show you how this works. And when you're in the ZipRecruiter application, and you're going to see your profile's empty basically, right? So you can either upload a profile, or what you're going to see is your Z button over here on the right-hand side, and you're going to be able to say zap into page. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow you, because you'll be the only person in your Zap board, is to just pick your profile and look what happens. It instantly fills out every one of your experiences, every one of your educational assets, all of your skills, and all of your social identities. So you have now perfectly transferred and linked your LinkedIn profile to all of the different job boards. And by just clicking your profile live, which is over on the right-hand side over here, you'll be able to see where you can say, now go public with my, this piece right here, private. Your profile's private, hit public, bam. You're now available for not only being found by recruiters, but you're also going to instantly be able to apply for jobs that use the easy apply capability. And again, this will and should work on all of the boards, on Indeed, on Monster, Career Builder, on Dice. So, and we'll continue to add more and more. We're going to be adding Glassdoor, and we'll be adding some of the other niche sites here as well. So this is a really important thing to be able to do very quickly, because again, this will expand your findability across all of these different boards. So just make sure that you do this. Now, one trick that most people don't know is that recruiters will search for people that are new in the database. They want to look at folks that are either brand newly created, so you're going to get a big pop out of the gate, or they want to find people who have modified their resume. So one of the tricks for you to do and put on your list of things to do is about once a week, come in here and just change something. Just change kind of a part of your description, add a few skills in, turn yourself on, turn yourself off, and turn yourself on again. And voila, now you're all of a sudden going to show up on the top of the search results set again. And by the way, not only is that great on the job boards and a sneaky little trick for keeping yourself at the top of the list, but this is also true when you're applying to jobs inside of company sites. You can go back and log into your profile on any of the corporate career sites, see what your application status is, but then by changing a few things and modifying your information, you all of a sudden have a modification date that again is going to move you to the top of the list in the search set when any recruiter is searching for people. So just make sure that you're doing those kinds of things to make sure that your profile and data and information is at the top of the list on an ongoing basis. So really great stuff to do with this. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you about, like optimizing your LinkedIn profile. I'm seeing a lot of people putting this open to opportunities as their job title. So I get that you're open to opportunities, but you don't want to blow away the fact that in this guy's case, he was a purchasing manager. Well, he switched his job title from purchasing manager to open to job opportunities. So you're advertising almost a desperate position by doing this. And by the way, most recruiters on the back end of the big systems, I went in, for example, and I searched for a purchasing manager in Memphis, Tennessee, who had strategic sourcing. And I even said, give me someone with the first name of Todd, which is this guy. And by the way, I did find him when I put in open opportunities, and Todd's not able to be found. So the bottom line is you do not want to be doing what you might be seeing a lot of people doing, which is changing your actual job title and company to your status, because I think a lot of folks might have gotten bad advice to do that. Now, here's what's great though, is you can come in and change on your LinkedIn profile that you are open to job opportunities. This is a relatively new part of your LinkedIn profile. and it's actually hidden. I'm going to go ahead and show you where it's at. If you come up here and you say add profile section, most people don't know this is out there, and you can go into the intro and you can say that you're looking for job opportunities. This is where you want to add the fact that you're open to opportunities. So I want to look for CEO jobs, Chief Executive Officer, in my area. I'm full-time or contract, right? And I can go ahead and say only recruiters can see this, or everybody can see it. So this is a really awesome way for you to be able to broadcast that you're available. There's, again, even back-end search tools in LinkedIn Recruiter that will now make you specifically findable for recruiters that are searching for people that are actually open to opportunities. So definitely.
Doug, I also want to add on that. In playing around with that, two things that will be really helpful there is if you put in United States, thinking that everybody can work from home remote now, that will actually make you excluded from all local metro areas. However, if you put in California, now anybody in California doing a job for San Francisco or LA will find you, so you'll be eligible to all job searches in California. You can put up to 5 states in there. I highly recommend you put states in rather than cities, because that way you'll come up in all the metro areas throughout the entire state rather than the actual cities, which only have about a 50-mile radius. And then select your employment type to be remote, and therefore you'll come up with all the remote in all the states, and you can do up to 5.
That's awesome. Great advice here. Again, LinkedIn's adding this stuff, not necessarily training us about how and where it's being utilized. So this is an incredibly important part of your job search process that's going to really help get you much more exposure on the network. Fantastic. Another thing that you're seeing more and more on LinkedIn is when you're looking at jobs, especially on LinkedIn, is that they're calling out specific skills on how you match to the jobs. Now, there are a couple things about this. One, I don't know about you, I don't remember adding skills to my profile, ever. All of a sudden, I've got skills on my profile. I had a skill called SEO, which I do, that showed up, and I had like 99 people endorse me for SEO. Well, probably only about 10 people really know I know SEO. And I went and looked at the list of people that had endorsed me, and one of those people was my daughter's piano teacher. She has no idea what I do for a living. So I have no idea how she even, so bottom line is, as much as those skills are out there, and as much as there's endorsements, those don't really matter a whole lot, except for now, in the last year, LinkedIn has started calling skills out of jobs in order to show you how you match to those jobs. Well, guess what? If I hit apply right now, how much of a match would I be for this job? I'd only be 50%. I've done cold calling, I've done client services, I've done job description, I've done search engines. But guess what? This job was created at a time I didn't have these skills on. So yes, I went back to my profile and I added all of these skills. So just so you guys are aware, when you start seeing jobs that have skills that you know you have and that you know you need to match better to, what you want to do is very quickly go and grab these skills. You can even copy them from right here and then go back to your profile and go down to your skills area and add these skills in. Now, the downside to this is it doesn't work retroactively. I can't, by the way, I just paste these in and then I kind of work backwards because they've got this no match, no match, no match thing. But you can just go ahead and delete that and then go ahead and hit add, and then it will add this one, and then you do the next one, and then you do the next one. But the problem is I added these, I came back to the job, I hit refresh, and it did not match me to these, even though it was on my profile now. And it's because when the job is created, that's when it creates these scores, not when you view the job or when you go to apply for the job. So all I'm saying is, as you're looking at jobs on LinkedIn and you're seeing that there's skills that you have that you didn't put in your profile, you need to make this a habit of constantly updating those skills. And by the way, go out and ask people to endorse you or rank those, because the more that you can get weight behind those skills, the better it's going to be. So in the old days, LinkedIn used to only, I could click endorse, 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 and that's all it did was put an endorsement vote on your skills. I don't know if you've seen this lately or not, but now when you start coming in and looking at someone's skills, and I say, look, I'm going to endorse Eric for strategy, now it's giving me some color. It's saying, hey, where's Eric at on this? Well, I'm going to say he's highly skilled. And guess what? We work directly on a project or team. So there will be more credibility to this, and the notes around these endorsements are going to flow through with your application as you start to apply for these different jobs out on the network. So just know that it's an important habit for you to basically be looking at these skills, adding them. The next job that comes that has these in them is actually going to give you the match so that you're 100% match on these. So a really important habit for you to be able to kind of get into as you're applying for jobs on some of these networks that actually have some of these capabilities.
It also gives you a total of 50 of these skills, and you can turn them on and off, just like we used to turn groups on and off as you need them. So you only get 50, and then on your profile, you get to pick which 3 show up at the top of your profile. And if you apply for a job, you might want to put the 3 that you think will be a good match at the top while you're waiting for that 1 week of comment for someone to actually review it, because they may come to your to your profile and want to see those 3 hot lists at the top, hot skills.
That's awesome. Good to know. All right, so I'm going to show you more job search stuff later, but one of the things you can do, and I really encourage this, is if your LinkedIn profile isn't the greatest, mine probably isn't the greatest. I wrote a bunch of mumbo jumbo. It's probably grammatically a nightmare. But for most people, I'm seeing that they don't have any descriptive content or very little descriptive content. And then all of a sudden, oh shit, I got laid off. So now I need to add some descriptive content in here. And they may or may not want to type stuff. But here's the beauty of this. If you need content around how to build this out for you, go over to the jobs section of LinkedIn, search for what you do, and basically read the jobs and look at how they're describing what you do, and then start to borrow from that content and kind of play back and forth with how the job descriptions are being written and updating your profile so that you can actually go ahead and, instead of the job saying this team manages production, you can say I managed production environments, including monitoring, administration, deployment. By the way, this is a great secret weapon when you're on a company career site and you're doing an application for a job, because if you literally almost play back to them exactly what their job description was, but in your person language, your match and your definition, assuming it's true, you don't want to lie here, you're going to be so much better of a fit for that by just taking a minute or two to tailor your resume to the job to be able to get the best match relevancy. And yes, unfortunately, some of the applicant tracking systems will literally take the job and the text of the job and compare it to your resume and say this person's 100% match. So if the little stupid things like you were called an account executive in your job, but they're looking for a client representative, they named it something slightly different. If you don't put in parentheses or talk about how you were a client representative as an account representative, you're just hurting yourself by not investing that little bit of extra time to take and really fine tune and borrow from some of this great content to be able to update your profile. So just make sure that you take a little time to go out and really build your profile nicely with using that kind of back and forth method that can really bust through writer's block for about any candidate. So that was just a quick side note on that. All right, now we're going to go and look at how do we go and tell our network that we're available for jobs. And again, you probably know that we've all got all these connections. You could sit and try to message every person individually. which would take forever. Some of your network may or may not be people that could help you in any way. But one of the things you can do when Zap Info is in your browser is you can actually go and extract and search and do strategic engagement with your first level network. So part of what you can do is come in and click on your connections, and then it'll bring up all of your connections. So in a filter list, and then you can even drill farther with these people. So let's say I want to go look for friends in my network that are recruiters. So I can just say, hey, I'm going to get my search filters up. Hey, Jeff Wiener is one of my first level connections. That's funny. All right, and I'm going to go all filters, and then I'm going to say that I want to go after people that are recruiters. Don't do plural, by the way. They call themselves recruiter or talent acquisition leader. And I've got 300 recruiters that are in my first level network. Now, again, I could try to export these people, but Zap makes this one click or two click easy. So I can just go ahead and hit extract, and then I can pull all of my first level connections out, even though they're spread across a bunch of pages, by using this pages of results thing. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull out these pages. I'm actually going to just say, hey, pull out 3, and here's my recruiters first level. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit extract. Now, when you do stuff like this, you do want to put a pause in between the pages just to be friendly with LinkedIn and not to cause any problems. And then what you can do is you can go ahead and watch the Zap Info tool start to take your first level connections into what we call your Zap board. And it's like a temporary Google sheet that you'll see come up once we're done with all this. And now that will have all your first level connections inside of it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to run what we call a get full profile process. And what the get full profile process will do, LinkedIn burped on me there. Here we go, I'm on page 3 now. It's going to go ahead and pull them all in there. And by the way, some of you may know that you can export all of your contacts using the LinkedIn export, but again, it will not have any of their contact data. So it just doesn't have their email address. Zap Info, one of the things that we have is we definitely have everyone's LinkedIn URL, which the export also does not have. But what you're seeing here is it's now finding everybody's work email address. So we have some enrichment engines behind the scenes, and this will be important for your job outreach to not only reach out to people on LinkedIn, but also follow up with an email address to people. So again, this is a really great way for you to be able to do that kind of corporate follow-up. But now what you can do is, just like if I wanted to go over to Sarah's profile and hit view profile, it will bookmark all of these people. And in order for me to get everybody's email address, I would have to visit their profile. And because I'm a first level connection with this person, I'll hit view contact info, and now I can see their personal or email address or mobile phone number. But doing that and visiting everybody and trying to do that all day would take you days. That's where Zap Info can make this a very simple process to say, just do this for me. Go out and wait, 5 seconds between profile lookups, but go visit the profile, open the contact data, get their personal contact info, save it, and then do the next one. And that's kind of these automations that Zap has built that can really help you to get all of that first level connection data and information that you can then store in your Zap board through your job search process to continually do outreach to different people as a part of your networking process. So there's a couple of really key things that you can do here, which is fantastic while you're doing these different things. And I'm going to show you how you can engage with your first level network next after this is done. But this is a critical piece of getting your contacts into a strategic database that you can now interact with directly, as opposed to maybe being limited by LinkedIn in terms of how they let you interact with your first level contacts. And by the way, if you're in groups, sometimes people join job networking groups or industry groups or groups based upon different events. You can actually go to those groups. You can go to those different groups on Facebook, on Meetup, on Quora, on Twitter, and you can run this same process to be able to extract, enrich, and engage people in those different areas. So now you can see we've got everybody's direct contact information and data, and you'll be able to keep them in this list so that as you're doing your periodic outreach to people, you'll always be able to pull this list up and then start doing some outreach to them. I'm going to pause here quick. Is there any questions, comments, or ideas out on the network at all, Lynette or Air?
I'm not seeing any questions. I just hope I can see them as a panelist. So the sound is also kind of wonky, everyone is saying on Facebook Live. So I'm directing everyone to join the webinar directly. So.
Well, let's, I'll see if I can't do a quick tweak to Facebook Live. I doubt it. I'm going to try to change my microphone here. Option do. No. Oh, yes, I can go ahead and change it there. So hopefully now it's better on Facebook Live as well.
Awesome.
Great.
And then just check the questions in the control panel just to make sure as a panelist I can see any questions that have been asked.
There's no questions. We're good to go.
Okay, I still don't know if I could see them or not. Somebody ask a question.
Well, yeah, no, they're in there. All right, so when you're doing this outreach, I got a great one the other day from an old friend of mine, and he just said, hey, Doug, hope you and your family are healthy and safe. I could use your help. Found out due to COVID, I'll be exiting my role. I'm looking for a small company controller. My cell phone is this. I'd be grateful if you could do anything. Just an easy, great, fast way for you to be able to do some outreach to people. And we'll go ahead and put a couple of other ideas out here, or you can post them out to the Facebook user group that we've got as well to get great ideas for how recruiters actually like to get reached out to. So this is just a great way for you to be able to do that. Now, what you can do is in your Zap board, when you click on this up on the top, we have templates that you can use for communication. So I've gone ahead and built one that's just for a recruiter. So you can say, hi, whatever the first name is, I saw that your company was recruiting for a certain type of position. I'm going to show you kind of how this works. And I applied on your career site. I'd appreciate the chance to talk with you about that, right? So you can also do that kind of outreach or networking outreach. You can also do things like, hey, it's been a while. I wanted to give you a heads up. I just applied for a job at your company. I see we're both connected to the recruiter. Would love any help that you could give me. So there's just a lot of these great little email templates or social templates that you can use when you're doing not only your initial networking, but even when you're doing application follow-up. Just wanted to see if there was anything going on with the opportunity or the company or the hiring status. You can kind of build as many of these as you want to. And it's really an easy thing to do. Apply follow-up. And you can build these really quick and they're easy. So you can say hi and then whatever the first name of the person is, just touching base on my application, any updates appreciated, right? So there's just a great way for you to be able to build these for email, for social, and even for SMS. So you can use almost any different communication method as an integrated part of the Zap board to be able to do this. So again, once you've got everybody in your Zap board, what you'll do is you'll basically come in and you'll just say, look, I want to now connect with some of my first level connections. And then I'm going to say engage. And this is where I can go ahead and grab those contacts and basically start the process of doing that networking with them. So this will, you see, then take me, and you'll want to do either connect or standard messages, and it will just launch this process of visiting your friend's profile, opening up that profile, opening up the communication dialog, creating and placing the message, and putting it into their message thing. So again, we could spend days and hours doing this. Zap Info makes this really easy for you to be able to get these, place them, and push them out as quickly as possible. So again, and all of these include a link back to your LinkedIn profile, so they'll get to see kind of what you've been up to, who you've hung out with, who you're mutually connected with, and all of that kind of goodness as well. So just know that that's how you can do your networking with your people as you start to reach out to everybody and see where they're at, what they know, what things they've got available and such. All right, I got to kind of hurry up here a bit. I want to touch quickly on Facebook because I know a lot of people are starting to think about the move to Facebook, and there's some good things to Facebook. Now, we have tried to build the ability for you to zap your LinkedIn over to your Facebook link, but they've over-engineered this to the point where you can't just put in that you work at Zap Info or whatever your company is. You'll have to pick from a list of pre-defined companies, and you'll have to pick from the dates you work to and from, and you'll have to pick from a list. So basically, they've overdone this. You can update it. It's very easy to update. Go in and do that. But just know that people can't search for you based on this, like they can in LinkedIn. You can't go to Facebook on the search and say, give me all the software developers in Minneapolis who are looking for work. It doesn't work that way. It did for a minute. We caught them doing it for a little bit last year, but it's still not online. So there's not a ton of value for you to take and update your Facebook profile, apart from maybe just putting that you're looking for work into your thing and your most recent employer. But as far as building out your entire Facebook profile, I don't see a lot of value in it. But know that your public LinkedIn profile is completely different than the sneaky backdoor resume profile that you have. So what happens is Facebook is getting big into jobs. They're actually very aggressively, if you go to facebook.com/jobs, you'll find an incredible amount of jobs that are getting posted, especially kind of below the white collar or for hourly or for other, but you'd be amazed at how many software and management and executive jobs are out there. And you can't find it real easy. It's not in their marketplace. You literally have to type in facebook.com/jobs and then do your search, click that you want full-time, and then the different job category. You'll also set the location you're in, but now you can view and you can apply for these jobs right on Facebook. And the first time that you bring your profile up, it will pull from your public profile. But this is where you can zap your LinkedIn profile in with your entire experience, description, skills, education. And once you build this apply profile, it saves it. So all future jobs that you apply to through Facebook, you will be able to use this application profile to make it much easier for you to apply for these jobs through Facebook. So just know that there's a difference between your public Facebook profile and your application profile in Facebook. And it'll make it super easy for you to be able to apply for opportunities on Facebook. The other thing to know about this is that you can easily click on subscribe about new job opportunities in Facebook. So once you've built your search, the description, the type, and the location, you can go ahead and hit subscribe, and you will get job alerts probably daily or every other day that are matching what your search criteria was. And it's very accurate, and it's actually really good, unlike the early days of LinkedIn. So just know that you should go and set up job alerts on Facebook to troll and find and see where jobs are, because I think this is an amazingly underutilized job search area. And by the way, posting jobs is free for companies. And so as they get to buckle down and can't afford to keep paying $400 and $500 per job post, you're actually going to see in the downturn, most of them will turn to free resources like Facebook to start posting their jobs, and you'll be first in line to be able to see the ones that come through for you. Eric, any other thoughts on Facebook utilization beyond these two different kinds of things?
No, I think you're absolutely right. Facebook is underutilized for job seekers and building alerts on those. And I think it is very, very good to have your profile up to date. You can make your Facebook profile almost identical to your LinkedIn profile. And most people don't fill that out to be found on Facebook. We teach a lot of techniques on how to find on Facebook. And I'm shocked how many people just only have their current company and their current title and really nothing else rather than having their full Facebook profile filled out.
Yeah. And by the way, even though I said you can't use Facebook to search for people by their job title, one of the things you'll get by using Zap Info is you will get access to what's called our search builder. We have figured out, thanks mostly to Eric, if you do want to search for people who are on Facebook that are in a company or in your local area, I'm just going to put Minnesota here, you can actually say, give me all the recruiters that are on Facebook in my market. and then we have a Facebook via Google. So even though you can't search on Facebook, Facebook has had Google index all of the public Facebook profiles, which includes all of the people based upon where they work, what companies they work for, and what titles they have. So now you can actually use Google to search for people that are recruiters around Minnesota, and you can actually find those people and instantly go link to them. And guess what? You can now message those people and friend those people directly with no limitations like you might have on LinkedIn. So this is a really great way for you to be able to do that kind of networking on Facebook like you do in LinkedIn. You just have to use Google to find and identify those people so that you can then start to network with them. And you'll be amazed at how receptive people are to being friends and having conversations on Facebook as opposed to keeping things in LinkedIn only. So just know that you can do this method for going out and using Facebook to do your networking as well. And again, that'll be a part of what you can do with the free job search capability. Now, one of the greatest things that we've done is we're building out as quickly as we can the ability for you to apply for jobs faster once you find them, especially on the corporate career sites. So you'll see Zap Info showing up on hopefully almost every career site out there. And what this means is when you go to the company career site, you see the job and you kind of go gulp, because even with Apply with LinkedIn, all this does is fill out your first name, last name, and your LinkedIn URL. It doesn't always fill out the full application. So you still have to copy and paste or upload and parse your resume. It's a pain in the butt. But with Zap Info in your browser and with your LinkedIn profile in your Zap board, you can just say zap into page and then go pick your profile. So I got to find myself, Doug, and then click it. And now you'll watch what happens. It just automatically fills out not only the contact data, but it's going to accurately fill out every experience, every education, all of your skills. It's even going to create a PDF document and drop that in to the resume upload for that particular site. So you've now taken what would have been a 30 or 40-minute application process and literally made it one mouse click. So this is going to really help you as you're doing these applications for jobs, and it works on most of the different career sites and will continue to get better as we go forward. So we've built out how to apply on most of the Phenom People sites, most of the Taleo sites, most of the Great People sites, and we'll likely have most of these other applicant tracking systems within the next 45 to 60 days. So it, again, should work really well for you to be able to automate that application process inside of all those different sites. Now, where it doesn't work, you can still use what I call the two-panel method to be able to make this a lot easier. So in this case, Zap did show up because it's a Taleo site, but what I'm going to show you is how you can basically undock your LinkedIn, or I'm sorry, your Zap Info board, and then be able to just copy and paste the data. Oh, this is a pain in the butt. Hang on here. I'm actually going to do this apply with LinkedIn thing. And what you do with this is you can just click on the Z in the upper corner. I'm going to go ahead and grab my profile here, Doug, and then I'm going to undock Zap Info. So there's a little upper arrow up in this corner here, and all I'm going to do is keep my profile off to the side here, Doug Berg. So now all of my data from all of my different pieces is basically sitting undocked over on the side over here. And then as I want to go out and fill out the application process for any job, I can just literally copy the data points from my profile and just paste them into the different parts of the application process. I don't know where that stinker went. Hang on. I don't want to apply for a job in hybrid ad. You get the idea. So I'm not going to do all of this, but as it's asking you for your phone number, all you do is you hover over the phone number field and hit copy, and then you can go to this place and paste. And then I can go to my email and I can put my email in. If I need to put in my address, my zip code, all of these are hover over fields that you can just basically instantly copy and paste over into these open fields, which again dramatically accelerates your ability to do that application process. So a super way for you to be able to do that application process much faster, even if we don't have the autofill 100% filled out for those. The other thing you can do is you can actually take your LinkedIn profile and create really awesome PDF documents of your resume. So these are pre-formatted profile views that you can use. And so I'm going to go show you quickly here. I'm going to go on my Doug Berg profile. And once all of that data is inside of here, you'll be able to basically say, zap out and either zap to a web link or zap to a PDF resume, your profile, and you'll have some control options here. Do I want to show my contact data? Do I want to show branding? Like if I've got them a contractor or something like that. Do I want to allow them to give me feedback and comments on my profile? Do I want my headshot? And then do I want my profile to be pretty, or do I want it to be optimized for data import? Some of the systems that you're going to encounter will want you to upload your resume, and any of us that has done this has seen the frustration that can happen where it just munges your profile. And a part of why it does that is because sometimes the parsers don't do a good job, or our resume layouts, like even with this stuff, a lot of data is munged in very closely on the left, but when you use the optimized resume profile, we very strategically said what the data field is and what the value is in a parse-friendly format. And this will almost 99 times out of 100 make sure that your profile, your optimized profile, gets parsed correctly. So just know that you want to do that. Now, if you want to send a web link out to somebody of your profile, you can also create a web link. And instead of sending the LinkedIn URL of who you are, which is okay, you could send a private link of your profile. And the reason you might want to do this is to basically have a very exclusive, almost like a web page version of your profile that you can send. And what's great about these is as you send these, you can keep track of these web links. So you could build one for every single company that you might want to reach out to. So you can basically manage these web links as you're sending them. And then you can also set up that I want to get an alert when they look at my profile. So you'll actually get an email saying, hey, so-and-so looked at your profile, which is a great piece of feedback loop that can quickly prompt you to go back and follow up with them to say, hey, and maybe it's 3 days or 6 days or 10 days, you'll get that email that says, hey, so-and-so looked at your profile, and it's a great time to quickly go back, follow up with them and see exactly what their interest might have been and stuff like that. So again, a really great way for you to be able to do that. All right, some other really good tricks. One of the things you're gonna wanna do after you view and apply for a job is quickly go out and use the Zap Info Lookup like you're seeing here to go and network and try to find either the managers or the recruiters for a particular job. And so with a right click, you can copy the company name. You can say, go find them on LinkedIn, and now go find the recruiter. In this case, we found Ulrich, he's the executive recruiter. And now you can instantly go ahead and connect with Ulrich or see who you have in common with Ulrich to be able to then do some outreach to say, hey, I found your profile out on the network or your job. I applied for your job, and now I want to go ahead and send you a connection request. Now, what's cool about what Zap Info does is when you zap somebody, and you would want to zap them before you do any outreach to them. In this case, I've already zapped. No, maybe I haven't zapped Ulrich. It's going to not only grab all of his data and find his company email address, but it's also going to pull some important data from his profile, like who we have in common, who are our mutual connections. And I can integrate all of that into my outbound connection request. So once I've zapped Ulrich, I can go ahead and say I want to do a LinkedIn message to him, and I'm going to do my recruiter connect, and I'm going to hit template to profile. This will reload his profile, create that outreach message for him, and then it's going to go ahead and put that into that connect request, which is a much more personalized, higher converting method for me to be able to do my outreach to my different recruiter prospects. So here, hi Oric, I saw that Optum was recruiting for, in this case, it was a VP, and I just applied. I see we both know Jerry Crispin and Thomas Young, who you could speak with about my experience. I'd love the chance to see, as I'm very interested in working with Optum. Really awesome outreach from a candidate perspective, very intentional and clear, and uses the asset of your social relationship with anybody. So again, use these really good, highly personalized outreach methods to really enhance how you're doing that outreach to either recruiters or hiring managers as you're doing outreach to them. Eric, Lynette, any other incremental thoughts on some of that? Nothing. Silence is gold.
Definitely using social references of the people that is pulling in is working remarkably well to get people to respond, because if they like those references but they don't know you real well, they're going to respond much quicker to you. So it works really, really well.
Well, I think the important thing here is, instead of just applying for a job and again lighting a candle and hoping someone gets back to you, you have now quadrupled the chance of being aware by the recruiter that you had applied for the job. He'll log into the ATS, he'll see that your application is there, he'll see that you're intentional about this. But where it goes into overdrive is when you can invoke your mutual connections. And again, you can either do this ahead of your application, or you can do it after you've applied. And in this case, I think it's more powerful to actually do it after you've applied, especially because your asset of your application is in there. Now I have 13 connections with Oric, who's the recruiter. I can click on these 13 connections, who I know, and I can zap all of them and say, hey, I just applied for a job at your company. Oric is the recruiter. Can you put in a good word for me? So this is another back channel method for you to be able to quickly, with one click, grab all of these people and then send out that really awesome message to them to invoke their assistance as a part of your job search process. So again, a really powerful way for you to be able to utilize the social network to really kind of keep triangulating in on these opportunities, not in an annoying way, but just in a way that shows pleasant aggressiveness, is what I'll call it, and intention about wanting to do that. And now you've 8x'd your chance at being somebody that at least will be strongly considered for that job opportunity. So again,
your example, you showed approaching the recruiter, but the fact is many companies have employee referral programs, and you may be able to use a lookup to do a search to find a hiring manager or a highly probable hiring manager that is being supported by that recruiter. If a recruiter is getting lots of applicants, you may be ignored in the recruiter's inbox, but if you send a message directly to the hiring manager and bypass the recruiter, then the manager might ask the recruiter to pull your resume, or the applicant, or the employee referral might suddenly put you to the top of the list in an otherwise busy inbox of a recruiter.
That's exactly right. The other thing you can do on a lot of these jobs is you'll actually, in the job areas, start to see how you're connected to some of these opportunities, and definitely use this as a way to try to get that referral into the company. And again, you can either use a lot of those on LinkedIn tools, or you could use just the stuff that we've just shown you. You could come in and you could say, hey, I'm connected to so many people on this job. I'm going to zap them, and I'm going to go ahead and use my relationship to do outreach to try to get them to make an intro for me. So that's a great way to do networking as well. A couple of other things, because we're coming up on the hour here. I'll probably go over a bit, but I'm here, and we're hopefully mostly unemployed, so we don't have a lot to do. Getting job alerts. You definitely want to set up alerts on all the big boards. They have a lot of jobs. Do not avoid building job alerts on the direct company sites. You will see when you're doing job searches on most of these sites, you have this ability to get notified for similar jobs. Pop your email in here and you will be the first to know when jobs come up. Again, only about 20% of jobs are posted out to the public job boards, especially in the last month. A lot of companies have pulled their job feeds from being broadcasted out into the job boards. So if you want to be on the list of getting these alerts, you are not going to find them on most of the public job boards. I actually took and did a search for this full stack developer job at Lifetime Fitness. It's not on Indeed. It's not on ZipRecruiter. It's not on Monster. It's not on Career Builder. It's not on Dice. It's only on the corporate career site. And you will find this over and over again as you're trying to do your job searches and wanting to be the first person to know. Now, guess where it is found? On Google. So what most candidates don't know, people in the recruiting world know, is that Google has gone all in on helping you find jobs. You've probably seen Google get much better at flight searching and some of these other things, but they've really gone in on job searching. And if all you do on Google Anywhere is type in that you're looking for software developer jobs or executive jobs, you will find that Google has indexed content not only from all of the direct career sites, but they know if this job is posted on any of the other job boards. So they become an aggregator of the aggregators. And now if you apply directly to Lifetime, as opposed to these different channels, although it might be a little easier to easy apply with your ZipRecruiter, but with easy apply, you can do it anyhow right on the site. Basically, this is your way to very quickly find more jobs, more direct jobs at these companies, and then get in and use the easy apply process. So do not hesitate and make Google your best friend. And by the way, when you get your searches dialed in, Google will set up alerts for you on that search. So it becomes a phenomenal way to target companies. If you type something wrong, like software developer instead of software engineer, Google knows that, and it will still match you on jobs that semantically are a little different. And then you can manage all of your job alerts to get either instant, which I would want instant alerts, or daily or weekly jobs, depending on how you set these up. And again, you will get alerts immediately and directly within 24 hours of the job getting posted if the company site doesn't alert you. So Google is your best friend in this job board process as a part of your direct search process. And again, they're the aggregators of the aggregators.
I want to add to that.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, just when you're dialing in your searches on Google, you can also do it by state and by metro area, or do a zip code radius search. So just when you're doing searches, don't assume it's going to usually pick up your IP address and be your local, if you say near me, for example, but you can broaden it so it's the entire state or several states at the same time. It does support Boolean.
Yep, that's right. And again, it'll also find jobs that aren't even posted or that are only posted out on all the different boards. So instead of having to go to LinkedIn and Glassdoor and go to all these sites to search for jobs, Google has all the jobs from all the boards. So just know that this is a really powerful way for you to search, kind of an all-in-one deal using this. Now, I told you I had a trick for how to monitor jobs on career sites, even career sites that don't have job alerts. And so what you can do is I use a little program called Distill. You can all thank me for this later. It's a free service unless you get crazy. But Distill is a Chrome extension and monitoring service. You can use this for shopping on Amazon. You can go and say, hey, I want to track the price of a product or the availability of toilet paper, whatever you want to do. You can use Distill in a lot of ways, but what's really cool is you can use it to monitor jobs. Like if a job goes off the air, Distill will alert you. In this case, I've done a very specific search, and you can see in the keywords up here, I'm looking for sales jobs in the United States. And in this case, it's at Amplifon, but there's no way for me to sign up for job alerts on this page. That's okay, as long as I can create a unique search string, which in most career sites you can. I can now hit Distill, which is up here in my corner, and I can say I want to monitor this full page of search result sets. This is new career opportunities at Amplifon, and I want it to run every day or every 3 days or even hourly or every 5 minutes. It depends on what you want. And then I just hit save, and it will monitor that page for me and alert me if there's something new that's been posted or changed on that site. So again, you can either monitor searches or you can monitor specific jobs for change events that happen on any page and be the first to know when those opportunities come up. So just know that you can also use tools like this to get competitive intelligence over other candidates to be able to monitor opportunities and be the first person to apply. All right, we're coming in for a landing. One of the biggest hidden secrets that candidates aren't aware of, and this is especially true if you go to a company career site and you just don't see the right jobs there. You don't have to sit and wait for jobs to show up. A lot of companies have what's called talent communities, and this is a side door into putting your profile into this talent database that their internal recruiters use. It's like an internal LinkedIn, if you will. And in many cases, you'll see this on the top of a career site. You'll actually see join our talent community as an asset. It sometimes can be hard to find. Sometimes in this case, it's up on the top, and it's usually on the top of sites that have this kind of resource. And sometimes it should be a lot easier than applying for jobs, but sometimes it can still be a pain in the butt. The good news is you can use Zap Info to also very quickly join these talent communities of these sites, which will not only, again, fill out all of the data points for you, but you can also then quickly pick, hey, I'm interested in technology jobs and I'm in Minnesota, but it also creates that great profile for you and uploads it, and with one click, you're hitting submit. This sometimes also is how it sets up job alerts for you. But most importantly, if any of their recruiters, when they're hiring, clicks back on, they may not post a job right away. They might first go to their talent community and look for who's in the talent community that matches the job, which would put you in the first position for joining those talent communities. Now, the thing that we've done is we've gone out and found thousands of these talent communities. So if you can't search for them on Google or you're not finding them, just know that you can use our search library, which is also a part of your Zap Info dashboard, to be able to come in and instantly search for talent communities based upon your different geographic market or based on different hiring categories. You can very quickly come in and actually look for these and then instantly go and link directly to them and join them as a part of the finding process for these different talent communities. So just know that we'll continue to add these talent community doorways as a way for you to be able to put your profile into the side door of the recruiting process. To wrap up, one of the things you're going to see coming to market from Zap Info is what we call Easy Apply. We're working with a lot of the big career site platforms and talent CRM, so you'll actually start to see Easy Apply as an apply method on all of the pages, and by using Zap Info, you'll be able to zap your profile right in. Now, what's great about this is it's also going to create a link between you and the companies that you apply to. It's going to track your applications and the jobs that you've applied to. It's going to provide ongoing updates to those companies that you've linked to. It'll also cross-populate and update your profile in all of the different boards that you're connected with. It'll help you search and find jobs that match your profile, as well as track job availability. So this is going to be a powerful application that we hope to launch later in April or early into June or May, sorry, which will also do all of this automated social networking for you. So stay tuned for that. But today you can go ahead and sign up for Zap Info. It's our gift to those of you that are looking for work. You can pick from any of our plans. We have a basic plan, a premium plan, and a power plan. We also have a free plan. You can also zap your profile and apply for jobs just under the free plan. But for those of you that want to find email addresses, start finding social profiles, start using Zap engagement tools to automate kind of the mass social networking stuff, we're giving you a $50 off any plan for 3 months, which will at least get you the premium plan for that 3-month period. It's a total value of $150. Or if you want to do the power one, right now it's only $25 instead of $75. So just use the coupon code Back to Work 2020. You can come to Zap Info, click on the Try It Free, which will open up the registration box for you. Don't put the code into the promo code. Wait for where you pick your subscription. You'll see a coupon code entry point, and that's where you'll put Back to Work 2020. We'll also send this link to all of you with the webinar recording, so you'll have this direct link so you can sign up at that time as well. But we hope this really helps you to be able to much more quickly accelerate your job search process, to build your network and hopefully find your dream job, so that this event, while it went from kind of being a setback, might actually catapult you forward into a great new set of relationships, career opportunities, and hopefully great wealth and health as you go through the rest of 2020. So we hope these have been really helpful tips for you. If you have any other questions or comments, please find us on the Zap Info user group, either on Facebook or LinkedIn. And blessings to everybody, and hopefully you can get back to work very, very quickly. Have a great day and have a great week, everyone.
And this recording will be available to those both on the call and not, and the ones that maybe haven't but want to see it. We'll also make that available on the Zap Info user group.